I realized my life had officially gone off the rails the moment they tied me up, gagged me, and added me to their cart like I was a clearance item. That thought hits me as my cheek slams into wet asphalt, the cold soaking through what's left of my hoodie. The alley stinks of damp concrete, rusted pipes, and whatever a megacity dumps when it's too busy to care. Somewhere neon buzzes like a dying fly. Somewhere else, I'm pretty sure a rat laughs at me. And me? I'm lying on my side, wrists bound, a gag shoved between my teeth, while two humans and a pair of beta wolves stare down at me like I'm already dead. Honestly? Rude. One of the betas nudges me with his boot. Still breathing, he grunts. I glare at him over the gag. It's impressive how much aggression one can convey with only eyebrows. Cut it out. The human leader snaps. He owes 10 months, plus interest. I try to talk, but all that comes out is muffled, dramatic indignation. The leader yanks the gag down just enough so I can spit out. That's not interest. That's extortion with a calculator. He hits me hard enough to remind me my face exists. Shut him up again. The gag goes back in. I try to bite the guy doing it. Try. He's quicker. They drag me toward their van, big, black, and smelling like gasoline, mold, and bad decisions. I'm tossed in like cargo. The door slams, leaving me in dim orange light and the hum of an engine that probably should have been retired a decade ago. As the van jerks forward, I take stock of my situation, cold, hungry, debts up to my ears, still allergic to authority, and definitely doomed. Still, panic isn't useful, and humor is my last defense mechanism. So my brain decides to whisper, well, at least you got a free ride. Thanks, brain. The city streets blur by through the tiny barred window as the van heads deeper underground. Literally, we descend into a service tunnel, then into something older. The air grows warmer, loud, metallic, and then I hear it, the roar of a crowd. Oh great, they're taking me there. The beta dragging me out of the van grins like opening night at a circus. Welcome to the pit, runt. The pit, the infamous underground arena, where wolves fight for money, reputation, or in my case, because someone wants to collect a debt and also enjoy the show. They haul me through a hallway lined with cages. Some empty, some not. Eyes follow me. Golden, red, silver. Curious, hungry. I force myself to breathe, though every inhale tastes like sweat, blood, and metal grit. This is fine. I'm fine. Totally fine. Okay, maybe not fine. We're stopped in front of the main arena doors. The roar of the crowd is deafening. Warm air hits my skin, thick with adrenaline and violence. Bring him out. Someone calls from inside. They shove me through. The pit is a sunken ring, lit by harsh overhead lamps that cast long, animal-shaped shadows across the concrete floor. Stands rise above us, stacked with spectators. Humans, betas, some alphas, all roaring, all wild. And at the top of the arena, descending a metal staircase with the sort of ease that suggests the world bends around him, is him. Niko. I've never met him, but I know the type. Tall, dark hair, black clothes that fit too well, a calm, cold aura that rolls ahead of him like winter wind, and that unmistakable alpha scent, sharp, cool, edged with something dangerous. If authority were a person, that person would be him. If mistakes could choose a form, they'd also choose him. He reaches the ground level, hands casually in his pockets, eyes sweeping the space. When those eyes land on me, tangled, bloody, gagged, they flicker with something like disbelief. The debtor shoves me forward proudly. Got you a new fighter, boss. Niko looks at me. Really looks. Slowly. From the bruised cheek to the scraped knees. His eyebrow lifts. Him? A beat. Seriously? I yank at my restraints and manage to grunt something extremely impolite through the gag. Niko's gaze sharpens. Take it off, he orders. The gag comes free. Saliva hits the floor. My voice returns. You know, I rasp. This is not how I pictured my evening. I thought I'd have dinner first. A ripple of laughter bursts from the stands. The debtor goes pale. Niko studies me, face unreadable. He's Mouthy. Refund? I suggest brightly. He ignores that. Turns to the debtor. Debt? 10 months, boss. He ran. Niko's eyes slide back to me. Why? Because running is faster than dying? Another laugh from the crowd. His lips twitch, very slightly. A dangerous, amused line. Then he walks a slow circle around me, assessing. I can feel the heat rise up my neck under the intensity of it. He stops directly in front of me. You won't last long here, he says calmly. Ouch. Rude, gorgeous man. But, he continues, I don't take in dead weight for free. He leans closer. I can smell him. Icy pine, smoke, something sharp that pricks at my instincts. You survive 3 fights, he says quietly, and I'll release you. I blink. Once, twice, then snort. You won't get the satisfaction. He lifts his chin. Just a fraction. But on him it's like someone pulled a knife slow and gleaming. A short, dangerous smile appears. We'll see. And just like that he turns away, issuing orders while the crowd chants my fate like a sports event. I watch his back, my pulse thrumming unevenly, not from fear, but something else I don't dare name. Because as they drag me toward the holding cages, one thought curls through my mind with the weight of a vow. I'd die before I belong to anyone, even if the man in black seems determined to test that. If the pit had a smell, it would be a mix of wet fur, rusted metal, and the kind of sweat that belonged to people who knew they might die tonight. Not exactly the fragrance of dreams. They shove me into the prep zone, an underground maze of cages, flickering lamps, and metal grates that echo every heartbeat. The walls practically breathe with the roar of the crowd on the other side. I grab the bars of my holding cage and take a breath. A mistake. It tastes like someone boiled a gym bag. My pulse punches at my ribs. Part adrenaline, part fear, mostly irritation. Because, as I try stretching my legs, my hamstring nearly snaps like a cheap wire. Wow, I mutter, rolling my shoulders. Peak athletic form right here. The nearest guard snorts. Stop talking and warm up. I'm trying, I shoot back, wobbling as I attempt a leg swing. But apparently, malnutrition and homelessness are not performance-enhancing. He ignores me, which is honestly for the best. I sigh and glance down at my bare feet. Seriously? I grumble. You couldn't even give me shoes? This is discrimination, or a very specific foot fetish. Another guard barks a laugh. Before I can continue dragging my dignity through verbal mud, a voice booms. Bring him out. That's my cue. Open the cage. I breathe once, steadying myself, and walk toward the arena gates with all the confidence of a man heading to his own poorly organized funeral. Light blasts me in the face as the doors open. The arena feels bigger from the floor, its walls rising like cliffs, the stands filled with predators who want entertainment more than blood. The noise is a living thing, pounding against my skull. And then comes the moment I hate. Their eyes land on me. An omega. Thin, bruised, barefoot. The crowd responds exactly as expected. Boos, jeers, snickers, the occasional "he'll die in 5 seconds." I force a grin, because if I don't laugh, I'll scream. Then I look up, automatically, unwillingly. Niko stands on the upper balcony, leaning against the railing, hands in his pockets. His expression? Blank. No anticipation, no interest, no concern. Just a calm, cold mask that says you are absolutely going to lose, and I don't care enough to bet on it. It ignites something in me. Anger, stubbornness, whatever spark of pride I didn't manage to starve out these past years. Watch me, I mutter. My opponent enters next, and the ground seems to vibrate with each step. A massive beta, shoulders like steel beams, fists the size of small appliances. His knuckles crack like gunshots as he stretches his neck. He grins at me. Poor guy thinks this will be easy. The bell clangs. The fight starts. He lunges like a bulldozer on legs, swinging for my head with enough force to snap a telephone pole. I duck under it by a hair, feeling the air rush past my cheek. I dart sideways. Fast. faster than I remember being. The crowd gasps. The beta doesn't slow. He pivots, bringing both arms down like a hammer. I roll away, scrape my elbow, curse out loud, and shoot in low, ramming my shoulder into his knee. He grunts, stumbles. 1 point for the barefoot gremlin, I huff. He answers by grabbing me and slamming his fist into my ribs. White-hot pain bursts behind my eyes. I wheeze. My knees buckle. Distantly, I hear the crowd's roar shift. Hungry, eager, convinced I'm done. He punches me again. My vision tunnels. My ears ring. Somewhere above, I think I see Niko shift, just slightly, like he's waiting for the inevitable. And maybe it is inevitable. I'm starving, weak, barely standing. I should stay down. But something inside me snaps. No, burns. A spark. A flare. Something I've buried deep, deep beneath fear, shame, and exhaustion. My wolf. Not the submissive, obedient thing people expect from an Omega. Not the broken creature I've been for years. Something older, sharper, angrier. My next breath tastes like iron and lightning. Before the beta can strike again, I twist out of his grip, faster than before, and slam my elbow into his throat. He chokes, stumbling back. I don't give him a second. I duck under his wild punch, sweep his legs, jump onto his chest, and deliver a series of sharp, vicious blows to his jaw. He collapses. Silence hangs for a heartbeat. Then, the arena erupts. The crowd roars like a beast unleashed. I stand there panting, blood on my knuckles, sweat dripping down my back, my pulse screaming in my ears, and I look up. At him. Niko stands exactly where he was, hands still in his pockets, face still unreadable. But his eyes, just his eyes, they're sharper now, narrowed, focused, not bored, not dismissive, interested. A flicker of triumph pulses through me. I lift my chin and shout toward the balcony. Hope you enjoyed the show, boss. A few laughs ripple through the crowd, but Niko doesn't laugh, doesn't smile. He only exhales, almost too softly to hear, the corner of his jaw tightening as he murmurs. Interesting. The medbay is colder than the arena somehow. Concrete walls, metal table, harsh lighting that makes every bruise on my skin stand out like a crime scene photo. The sharp bite of antiseptic hangs in the air strong enough to sting my nose. I sit on the examination table, arms crossed, jaw clenched. Not because I am hurt badly, but because being here feels too much like being vulnerable. And I hate that. The beta medic, a tired-looking guy with graying hair, is dabbing at my ribs with disinfectant. You did good out there, he mutters. I shrug. Define good. I didn't die? High bar. Before he can answer, the door hisses open, and the temperature of the room drops a full 10 degrees. Niko steps inside with that same effortless confidence, dressed in black that makes his presence seem larger. His scent follows him. Cool, smoky, a hint of something sharp. Alpha. Controlled. Clean. Dangerous. I immediately straighten like he's an authority figure I pretend not to care about. The medic bows his head automatically. Boss. Niko doesn't respond. His eyes are already on me. Not like he's admiring a fighter. Not like he's assessing a piece of property. But like he's peeling back layers I don't remember agreeing to remove. It's unsettling. I glare at him. Hard. The medic steps aside quickly, as if realizing his presence isn't required for whatever this interaction is. Niko moves closer, stopping right in front of me. Close enough that I can feel the heat of him. Close enough that ignoring his scent becomes an Olympic-level challenge. So, he says quietly, eyes scanning my bruises. You won. Wow, I reply, deadpan. I didn't realize you were watching. His jaw ticks. I always watch my fighters. Lie. I don't know why I know it's a lie, but I do. He reaches out, fingers brushing the edge of a fresh bruise on my ribs. I flinch, not from pain, but from how unprepared I am for the contact. His touch is careful, slow, examining. You shouldn't have won, he says finally. The audacity, Sorry for ruining your evening plans, I snap. I'll try to get knocked out faster next time. A breath of amusement, barely there, passes through him like a ghost of a smile. You fight dirty, he says. I fight to live. His eyes flick up to mine. Too sharp, too knowing, too focused. For a moment, the room feels too small. My wolf stirs uneasily under his gaze, instinct screaming something that makes no sense. Niko steps back half a pace but doesn't break eye contact. If you win again, he says slowly, I'll give you a room. I blink. A room? Why? To watch me die in comfort. A room, he repeats, ignoring the jab. With a lock, food, space, privacy. Sounds like a hotel, I mutter. It's not, he says. No humor. Just truth. I turn my face away, hiding the uncomfortable tug inside my chest. Why do you care? It's not like you expect me to last. No, he agrees. I don't. My head snaps toward him, a retort ready, but he continues before I can fire it off. But you surprise people. That's worth observing. Observing, right. Not creepy at all. I huff. I'm not here for a vacation. Or your attention. Good, he replies lightly. Because you won't get the first, and I don't offer the second. Except, he is offering it. Every lingering glance says that. He steps even closer, lowering his voice until it slips under my skin. Win the next fight, Sam. And you'll see what freedom feels like in this place. Something in the way he says my name sends a shiver down my spine, and I hate that he notices. His gaze clings to mine longer than necessary, longer than is appropriate, longer than is safe. Why? I ask before I can stop myself. Why the sudden generosity? His expression barely shifts, just the slightest curve at one corner of his mouth. I reward potential, he says. And you have more than you pretend. A strange tension hums in the room, electric, heavy, tangled with something I don't want to name. The medic awkwardly coughs in the corner, pretending to be invisible. Niko steps back at last, but his eyes stay locked on mine, studying me, like he's solving a puzzle he already knows the answer to. A hint, a flicker, something hidden behind that calm mask. It hits me out of nowhere. He's seen something in me. Maybe even something I didn't want anyone to see again. He knows. Not everything, but something. And he's not saying a damn word. Rest up, he says finally, heading for the door. Your next fight is soon. He pauses in the doorway. One more thing, he adds without turning. If you're going to keep talking back, try not to bleed on the floor next time. Yeah? I shoot back sharply. Then stop making me fight giants. His shoulders lift slightly, almost a laugh. Almost. And then he's gone, leaving me in a cold room with a pounding pulse, a bruised rib cage, and one terrifying realization. Niko isn't just watching me. He's watching through me, and he already knows more than he should. The prep room feels smaller tonight. Maybe because the crowd is louder, roaring like they've bet their last paycheck on who gets to walk away alive. Maybe because the stakes are higher. Win this, and I get the room Niko mentioned. Or maybe because I'm exhausted, bruised, and running on sheer spite. The lamps overhead flicker, buzzing like angry insects. The walls, bare concrete, echo with every shout from the stadium beyond. I pace the tiny space, rolling my shoulders, stretching my neck, trying to shake off the bone-deep fatigue that's settled in since the first fight. My heart thunders, too fast. My breaths come too quick. My palms sweat against the taped wraps. You're not ready, a voice whispers in my head. Good thing I never listened to reason. Footsteps approach, smooth, steady, controlled. Even before he enters, I know it's him. Niko steps into the room like he's walking into a place he owns, which he does, but with a surprising softness in his eyes. He takes in my tense posture, the tightness in my jaw, the shallow breaths I'm trying to disguise. You're not warmed up enough, he says. I snort. Hard to warm up when your ribs are auditioning for a horror movie. He ignores the jab, stepping closer until he's right in front of me. His scent hits instantly, cold, piney, deliberate. It brushes against my senses like a challenge, awakening something instinctive and dangerous under my skin. "You can't fight like this," he says quietly. "I can't not fight," I shoot back. A pause. He studies me, eyes narrowed, not with irritation but with something like concern? No. No way. Then he does something even stranger. He lowers his voice, speaking so quietly it barely reaches me. "You survived once. You can survive again. Just stay fast. Don't meet him head on." The encouragement is simple, almost gentle, and it hits me harder than any punch. For a moment, just one, my throat tightens. My chest aches. That warmth in his tone knocks something loose inside me, something I thought I'd already buried. I cover it with sarcasm immediately. Wow. Motivational speeches? Should I expect a fruit basket after the fight? Instead of being irritated, he huffs a small breath, close to a laugh. "Don't get used to it." Our eyes lock. Too long. Too intense. Too dangerous. Then a guard's shout slices the moment apart. "Time." Niko steps back, his expression snapping back to cold neutrality. But his gaze lingers. "Win this," he says softly, "and the room is yours." A promise? A test? A trap? I can't tell, but I nod anyway. Then I walk out, and the arena swallows me whole. The second fight. The crowd is twice as loud tonight. I can feel their breath, their hunger, their excitement vibrating through the floorboards. Spotlights blaze down, forcing my eyes to adjust. My opponent enters from the opposite side, and unlike the first guy, this one moves like he knows exactly what he's doing. Tall, lean, controlled, an alpha, no doubt. The type with training, the type who wins. He cracks his neck and gives me a calm, confident smile. "Don't worry," he says. "I'll make it quick." "Thanks," I reply sweetly. I was hoping to make dinner plans. The bell rings. He's on me instantly. His fist slams toward my face. I dodge, barely, feeling the air ripple. I counter low, kicking his shin. He doesn't even flinch. Then he hits me. Hard. My jaw explodes with pain. My ears ring. The world tilts sideways, then snaps back. I stagger, vision spotty. The crowd roars. He lunges again, and I dodge slower this time. Too slow. A punch drives into my ribs, right where they're still bruised. My breath shatters in my lungs. I gasp, stumble, taste copper. He doesn't wait. Another punch, another blow. I hit the ground, palms skidding on rough concrete. Up above, on the balcony, I catch a glimpse of Niko. His hands are still in his pockets. But his body is rigid, like he knows I'm about to break, like he didn't expect the sight of me falling to make his eyes burn with, what? Anger? Fear? I don't know. I can't think. The alpha fighter grabs me by the throat, pinning me down. "You're nothing," he growls. Maybe he thinks that'll finish me. Maybe he thinks I'll stay down. Maybe a normal Omega would. But I'm not normal. Not anymore. Not ever again. Something cracks. Something deep in my chest. A pressure I've been holding back for years bursts open. The arena lights seem to flicker. The air thickens. Heat pulses under my skin, sharp and electric. My vision sharpens, colors brightening, edges sharpening. My heart pounds like a war drum. The alpha above me freezes, just for a second, because what hits him, what hits everyone, is a surge of aura, not Omega, not submissive, not weak. Something else, something wrong or right, or simply too powerful to name. Gasps ripple through the stands. I hear someone scream, but all I see is my opponent's face twisting in confusion. "What are you?" I move before he can finish. With a burst of strength that isn't mine, or maybe is, I grab his wrist, twist, flip my body, and slam him onto the ground. The sound echoes across the pit. He groans. I climb over him. Punch, once, twice, 3 times. He goes limp. The crowd explodes. But the only thing I'm aware of is Niko, frozen, staring, eyes wide with recognition. Like he's just seen a ghost he expected, but hoped not to find. My strength drains as quickly as it came. My limbs shake. The world tilts violently. I try to stand. I fail. And then everything goes black. Aftermath. I surface slowly, like fighting through heavy water. Soft sheets under me. A clean blanket. Dim light. A room, not a cage. For a dizzy, terrifying moment, I think I've been taken somewhere else. Somewhere worse. Then, a blurred memory returns. Niko jumping down from the balcony, pushing through guards, lifting me, carrying me, like I weighed nothing. The entire arena going silent as he did. Why? Why would he? My throat tightens. I stare at the ceiling, heart pounding unevenly. Why does he care? Waking up in a real bed feels wrong. Too soft. Too warm. Too safe. I blink up at the low ceiling of a small, dimly lit room. A simple cot. A metal nightstand. A lamp shaped like it's lost every fight it's ever been in. The air is clean, shockingly clean compared to everywhere else in the pit, and it smells faintly of fresh linen, which is the first sign something is off. The second sign is the blanket tucked neatly around me. The third is the fact that my ribs don't feel like broken glass anymore. I push myself upright with a groan, ignoring the way my muscles protest. My head swims, but my memory flashes enough to fill the gaps. Aura, the fight, falling, darkness, and arms, strong, warm arms, catching me. No way. I shove that image out of my mind before it can settle. This room, it's too quiet, too safe, too not a cage. It's unsettling. It feels like care, and I don't trust care. I swing my legs off the bed, hissing at the soreness in my thigh. Before I can stand, the door creaks open. A beta servant slips inside, carrying a tray piled with food, literal food, real food, and a sealed medical kit. His eyes widen when he sees me conscious. "Oh, you're awake." "Unfortunately," I mutter. He sets the tray on the nightstand, bows at the waist, and scurries out without another word. I stare at the tray. Soup, bread, meat, fruit. For a moment, something tugs at my chest. Hunger? Gratitude? No. Obviously, trauma hallucinations. I pick up the spoon, then freeze as footsteps echo outside. Slow, measured, familiar. Great. The door opens again, and Niko steps inside. He fills the room just by existing, dressed in his usual black, jacket unzipped, sleeves rolled up. His hair is a little tousled, as if he hurried or fought someone to get here. His scent drifts in behind him, cool and sharp, brushing over my senses. I hate that I recognize it now. He sets another tray, one he's carrying himself, on the table. More food, a better medical pack, something like tea. He doesn't explain himself, just stands there. "What," I say finally, "is this? Room service?" Niko's face doesn't change. "You needed to eat. You do this for all your fighters?" I ask, tone dripping with sarcasm. No, one word. Sharp, honest, and it lands like a punch to the gut. I look away, picking at the blanket. "Well, don't get sentimental. I don't plan on staying." He steps closer, and I hate that my pulse jumps. "I didn't ask you to stay," he replies calmly. "I asked you to survive." His gaze sweeps over me, slow, steady, assessing, but not like I'm property. More like he's checking if I'm actually whole. I pretend I don't notice. "Before I eat whatever you're trying to poison me with," I say, "mind explaining why I'm not dead?" "You won the fight," he says simply. And then, almost died afterward, I shoot back. "You pushed yourself too far," he says. "Your body couldn't handle." He stops. I narrow my eyes. Couldn't handle what? A beat. Too long. "Your injuries," he finishes, but the hesitation gives him away. He's hiding something. Again, annoyance sparks through me. "You're a terrible liar, you know." "I'm not lying," he says, meeting my gaze head on. "I'm choosing my words. Oh, that makes me feel so much better. He glances at the food. Eat. I grab a piece of bread and tear into it aggressively, maintaining eye contact just to prove a point. His lip twitches like he's holding back amusement. He pulls a chair to the foot of the bed and sits, posture deceptively relaxed, but every line of him alert. Then come the questions. Why are you alone? I choke on the bread. Excuse me? You have no family nearby. No allies, no pack connections. His voice is steady, almost clinical. But his eyes? Too sharp, too focused. Why? I swallow hard and shrug. Maybe I'm allergic to crowds. Who was chasing you? What makes you think someone was? The way you flinch at certain sounds. The way you watch exits. The way you reacted when that spectator said your name. I go still. He noticed. Of course he noticed. I force a smirk. Congratulations. You're very observant. Should I get you a trophy? He doesn't smile. Answer the question. He says quietly. I shake my head. Nope. Try again next century. Another pause. Another too long stare. Then the softest question yet. Why aren't you with a pack, Sam? My chest tightens painfully. My vision flickers with ghosts. Faces, halls, chains, a crest I never want to see again. I push it all down, swallow hard, and hide behind the only shield I have left. Humor. Oh, I say lightly. Creative differences. Niko doesn't take the bait. He just watches me. Too quietly. Too intensely. That look again. Like he's reading between lines I haven't written. Like he knows exactly where the cracks are forming. Warmth gathers in the room. Unspoken. Unwelcome. Confusing. His concern isn't soft. It's sharp. Precise. Like he's protecting something whether he wants to or not. I find myself asking, without thinking, why are you here? Niko answers instantly. Because you're here. The words hang in the air between us. Thick. Warm. Dangerous. My heart stutters. I look away, cheeks heating in a way they absolutely shouldn't. I don't trust this place. I don't trust him. I don't trust the way his attention makes something inside me uncurl like a waking animal. But as he stands to leave, his hand brushing the doorframe, one thought rises despite everything. Since when does it matter where he is? The arena has never sounded this loud. It feels alive. Breathing, snarling, trembling under the weight of hundreds of bodies crammed into the stands. The lights are brighter than usual, searing down onto the floor like spotlights at an execution. The air hums with tension, adrenaline, and the undeniable smell of money. Tonight is the biggest fight of the season, and apparently, I'm the headliner. Lucky me. I stand in the prep tunnel, rolling my stiff shoulders as I listen to the crowd chant, roar, stomp. My heartbeat tries to sync with the rhythm, but it stutters. Uneven. Strained. My body aches. My ribs feel like cracked glass. My legs tremble with exhaustion I try to hide. I should not be fighting tonight, but I made a deal. And I'm too stubborn, or too stupid, to back down now. Footsteps echo behind me. Slow, controlled, familiar. I don't turn, but I feel him. Niko steps into the narrow tunnel beside me. He's dressed in black again, but tonight there's something different in his face. Tension tightening his jaw, focus sharpening his eyes until they almost glow. He looks at me, not like a fighter, not like a debtor, but like something he's trying too hard not to care about. You ready? He asks. No, I say honestly. That earns me a faint twitch at the corner of his mouth. Not quite a smile, more like a crack in the armor. His gaze drifts to my ribs. You shouldn't be fighting this soon. Great, I snort. Let's trade places. You go get punched in the face for 15 minutes. He ignores that. Instead, he steps closer, too close, and lowers his voice to something quiet, private, dangerously earnest. It's important that you come back. The words hit harder than any punch I'll take tonight. I try to scoff, but my throat tightens. Don't start. I'm not starting, he murmurs. I'm telling you. I force a laugh, brittle and sharp. You're really bad at pep talks. Then listen anyway. Our eyes clash. Heat, tension, something raw and unspoken threading tightly between us. Before I can say something stupid, like "Why do you care?" a guard calls out, "Fighter to the ring." Niko steps back slowly, the distance between us snapping like a stretched wire. "Win," he says softly. "And come back." I turn before he can see the way those words shake me, stepping into the blinding light of the arena. The fight begins. The roar hits me like a storm. Spotlights swing across the pit as my opponent enters from the opposite side. He's an alpha. Older, broader, carved from muscle and confidence. Scars line his arms like tally marks. He looks at me the way a wolf looks at a wounded rabbit. His grin is slow, predatory. "Try not to die too fast," he calls. "Try not to embarrass yourself." I shoot back. The bell clangs. He charges. His fist slams into my forearms as I block. The impact jolts through me like a shock wave. Pain explodes across my ribs. I dance back, barely avoiding a second hit, while the crowd roars. He's fast. He's strong. And he knows exactly where I'm injured. He strikes again. Sharp. Brutal. I duck, swipe low, land a kick to his shin. He grunts, but barely moves. He grabs my shoulder, pulls me in, and slams his forehead into mine. Stars burst across my vision. The world tilts. I stumble back, gasping for breath. Warm blood trickles down my brow. The lights blur. The crowd becomes a distant thunder. He circles me like a predator. "Give up, Omega," he snarls. "Not my style," I rasp. He swings. Fast. Too fast. His knuckles smash into my stomach. I fold, coughing, choking on air. Pain rips through me. My vision pulses black. I stagger, trying to dodge another blow. But I'm too slow this time. His fist crashes into my jaw. My head whips back. The floor rushes up to meet me. The crowd erupts. Somewhere above, I see a dark silhouette on the balcony, Niko. His hands are still in his pockets, but his posture is wrong. Too still. Too tense. My opponent looms over me, knuckles dripping with my blood. "This is where you die, stray." I push up on trembling arms. My ribs scream. My breath stutters. He grabs me by the collar, lifts me halfway to my feet. The crowd leans in, hungry, chanting, shouting, and then a voice cuts through them all. I know him. Everything freezes. The alpha's grip loosens. The crowd quiets, first in pockets, then all at once. A spectator stands up in the stands, pointing straight at me. I know that face. That's Sam Raven. The Omega from House Raven. The one who disappeared. My heart stops. Every muscle in my body seizes. No, 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 not here, not now, not that name. The crowd explodes into frantic whispers. The alpha holding me stares like he's just realized he's clutching something radioactive. Up on the balcony, Niko closes his eyes. Slowly, painfully, like he expected this moment, like he dreaded it, like it's confirmation of something he already knew. Panic spikes in my chest, hot, sharp, suffocating. I whip toward Niko, fury burning over the fear. "You knew?" I shout, voice ragged. He opens his eyes, and the look he gives me, raw, quiet, tells me everything. He did. He knew. The panic inside me shifts violently, flips, twists into something feral. If they know who I am, if they know where I came from, if they know what I ran from, then I am as good as dead. Unless I kill whatever stands in front of me first. A low, dangerous growl crawls up my throat. My aura flares, wild, sharp, molten. My vision sharpens. Colors deepen. My heart pounds a brutal rhythm. The alpha fighter steps back, suddenly unsure. I stand, slowly, unsteadily, but with a fury burning hot enough to scorch bone. "You want to fight?" I snarl. "Fine." I lunge. This time, speed pours through me like wildfire. My fist connects with his jaw, sending him stumbling. I slam my knee into his ribs. I dodge his blind swing, twist, lock his arm, and flip him onto the concrete. The ground shakes from the impact. The crowd goes insane. He tries to rise. Too slow. I'm already there. One punch. Another. A third. His body goes limp. The bell rings, shrill and frantic. I've won. But I don't feel victory. I feel danger. Everywhere. In every breath. Every whisper. I look up one last time at Niko. His face is pale. Eyes dark. Jaw clenched. He takes a half step forward. But I run. I bolt from the arena, past guards, through tunnels, through the choking roar of the crowd, until my lungs burn and my vision blurs. I don't stop running. Because if my name is out, if they know who I am, everything I've built, every scrap of freedom, every fragment of this new life, is over. The back corridors of the arena feel colder than the night air outside. Concrete walls, metal railings, the faint smell of oil and dust. Behind me, the muffled roar of the crowd fades with each step I take deeper into the shadows. My breath is ragged. My heart slams against my ribs like it's trying to break out. I burst into a stairwell and grip the railing with both hands. Moonlight spills through a grated window above, slicing the darkness into sharp silver lines. I should keep running. Out of the pit, out of the city, out of anything that has even a whisper of my name in it. But I can't move. My legs feel glued to the ground, trembling with fury and fear so tangled I can't tell where one ends and the other begins. A soft set of footsteps enters the stairwell. I don't need to turn to know who it is. Niko stops several steps above me, far enough not to crowd, close enough to feel. He doesn't speak, doesn't reach out, doesn't move. He just waits. My hands clench the railing until my knuckles go white. My voice comes out sharp enough to cut metal. How long? Silence clings to the concrete walls, the kind that stretches, heavy, suffocating. I whip around to face him, the silver light carving the anger into every line of my face. How long did you know? Niko's jaw tightens. His throat moves. But he doesn't speak. That only makes it worse. Say it. My voice cracks, raw. Say it. A beat. Then, since the first minute, the words hit like a strike to the ribs. I stagger back a step. It feels like the air is sucked clean out of my lungs. Of course he knew. Of course this was all just a game I didn't know I was playing. Anger pours into me like fire. So you bought me knowing exactly who I was? Knew I was hunted? Knew I ran? My chest heaves. And you didn't think to mention it? He doesn't move. You weren't ready. Oh, don't do that. I laugh. A broken, ugly sound. Don't talk like you know me. His eyes flash. I do know you. You don't know anything. I shout. But that's a lie. Because he knew enough. Knew too much. My vision blurs. Not from tears. I refuse to cry here. But from the surge of memories slamming into me without warning. Flashback. A long corridor lined with portraits. Voices behind closed doors. A crest with a raven, carved into every stone. A hand gripping my wrist hard enough to bruise. You're an Omega of House Raven. You will obey. You will serve your purpose. You are not free. Running barefoot across marble floors slick with spilled wine. A howl behind me. Hands reaching. The night swallowing me whole. I gasp and claw at the wall until the stairwell comes back into focus. Niko is still there. Still watching. Still too steady. He takes one small step down. Not toward me. Not to touch. Just closer to my line of sight. You didn't want to go back, he says quietly. I could see it in your eyes before you even spoke. That doesn't give you the right. I never intended to send you to them. His voice is low. Calm. But something trembles under it. Barely there. My breath hitches. Fury clashing violently with confusion. Then what? I demand. You were just going to... What? Keep the secret forever? Niko holds my gaze. Steady as stone. I was going to keep it until you chose to tell it. My chest tightens painfully. No, I say. No. You don't get to twist this. I'm not twisting anything. You lied. I didn't lie. You hid it. I protected it. The words stop me cold. Protected. My pulse stutters. Why? Niko's jaw flexes, like that's the one question he didn't want me to ask. When he finally speaks, it's barely above a whisper. Because you deserve the chance to breathe without a pack's shadow on your neck. The silence between us is thick enough to choke on. My voice shakes, despite everything. Why do you care? His eyes soften, not warm, but something close, something fragile beneath the cold mask. I don't know when it started, he admits, but I care. My heart slams so hard it hurts, and I hate it. Hate the weak, trembling part of me that wants to believe him. So I do the only thing I can do, the only thing that has kept me alive for years. I turn away. Save your speeches, I say, voice flat. I don't need them. I start walking down the stairs. Slow, too slow, almost like I'm waiting, hoping for him to stop me, to grab my arm, to say something, anything, that would justify the way my chest aches. But Niko doesn't move, doesn't call out, doesn't chase, doesn't try to cage me with his words or his hands. He stays at the top of the stairs, letting the silence answer for him, letting me leave, letting me choose. And somehow, that hurts more than anything else tonight. The city feels different at night, colder, sharper, like every rooftop in shadow is watching. I move fast, leaping across narrow gaps, climbing rusted ladders, slipping through alleys where the streetlights flicker like dying stars. The wind stings my face, carrying the smell of exhaust and rain-soaked concrete. I don't stop until I reach the old building I used to hide in months ago. Half abandoned, half condemned, fully forgotten. Perfect. I crawl through the broken window on the 3rd floor and land in the tiny apartment I once claimed as mine. The floorboards groan in protest. Dust clings to everything. A cracked kettle sits on the counter. A thin, patched blanket lies where I left it. It's pathetic. It's mine. I close the window, shove a chair under the handle just in case, and sink onto the floor. For a moment, the silence is so heavy I almost choke on it. Then I drag the blanket around my shoulders and breathe out. No shackles, no debt collectors, no fighting schedule, no alpha. I'm free. So, why does my chest hurt? I rub at my sternum, frustrated when the ache doesn't go away. Isn't this what I wanted? Didn't I dream of this exact moment, escaping everything, disappearing, building myself from the ground up again? But sitting here now, wrapped in an old blanket, staring at a dark city that never cared whether I lived or died. It doesn't feel like freedom. It feels like emptiness. I boil water in the dented kettle, the soft whistle filling the room. I pour it into a chipped mug and curl up on the floor, legs pulled to my chest, breathing in the steam like it might ground me. But all it does is fog my thoughts more. Images flicker behind my eyelids, uninvited, unwelcome. The laughter in the prep room when I made a joke. The sparking tension in a med bay too small for the two of us. Niko's steady voice, calm even when everything else wasn't. His hand catching mine when I collapsed. His arms lifting me off the ground. His scent, cold, sharp, grounding. Closing in around me like a shield instead of a trap. And his voice, quiet, soft, more vulnerable than I ever expected. It's important that you come back. I press a hand to my forehead, annoyed by the warmth rising behind my eyes. This isn't how it's supposed to feel. He's an alpha with a reputation blacker than midnight. I'm an omega who's run so far I barely know who I am anymore. People like us don't. We don't get anything real. We don't get connections, or promises, or moments that feel like safety. I lift the mug to my lips, but my hands shake. I set it down before I spill it. The truth presses against me from all sides, too big to ignore. I'm free from debt, free from the fights, free from danger. So why do I feel like I left something behind? Not something. Someone. I squeeze my eyes shut. Anger flashes through me, sharp, defensive. I shouldn't care. I shouldn't think about him. I shouldn't replay every look, every word, every unexpected moment of warmth. But I do. And underneath the anger, deeper, gentler, terrifying, is the truth. Niko didn't lie. He didn't expose me. He didn't use my name, even when he could have. He gave me room. He stepped back when I needed it. He didn't chase, force, or drag me back. He gave me freedom, real freedom, and it feels like falling. I set the mug aside and bury my face in my hands. A quiet laugh breaks out of me, hollow, disbelieving. When did I get so pathetic? I mutter into my palms, because deep down, something in my chest whispers what I'm too afraid to say aloud. I don't want to disappear again, not completely, not from him. But going back, seeing him again, facing what he knows, what I feel, that's another kind of danger, one I'm not sure I can handle. Fear curls tight in my stomach. Fear of my old life finding me. Fear of trusting the wrong person. Fear of wanting something I don't deserve. Fear of Niko. Or maybe, fear of how safe he made me feel. I pull the blanket tighter around myself and stare at the cracked wall. I should rest. I should forget. I should move on. But the empty apartment only makes one truth louder. Maybe freedom isn't worth anything if it means being alone. And that realization hurts more than any fight ever did. The rooftop is slick from the recent rain, puddles reflecting the moon like shattered silver coins. I sit on the ledge with my knees drawn up, blanket draped over my shoulders like a pathetic superhero cape. The city hums below, cars, distant sirens, laughter drifting from somewhere I can't see. The air smells of wet asphalt and cold wind. I breathe it in, letting it fill the hollow places inside me. I should leave this city entirely. Disappear. Start over. Instead, I'm sitting on a roof, staring at the sky, waiting for something I keep pretending I don't want. A soft shift of air behind me is the only warning I get. He's here. Niko steps onto the rooftop without a sound. No heavy boots. No dramatic entrance. Just the quiet certainty of someone who knows exactly where I'll be. I don't turn around. Following me now? I say, voice dripping with sarcasm to hide the way my pulse jumps. No, he says softly. Searching, searching, not chasing, not tracking, searching. It lands strangely in my chest, gentle and sharp all at once. I roll my eyes even though he can't see it. Congratulations, you found me. Want a trophy? He doesn't rise to the bait. Instead, he comes closer until he's a few feet away, hands in his pockets, breathing steady despite the climb. You left fast, he says. Thought I'd give you some peace and quiet. You thought I'd be angry. I pull the blanket tighter around me. Well, you did hide a pretty big detail. Niko walks until he's standing beside me, not looming, just present. The moonlight paints silver across his cheekbones. His scent hits me, clean, cold, so familiar it almost hurts. I wasn't pretending, he says quietly. I stiffen. Pretending what? That I cared. My breath catches. He turns slightly, enough to meet my eyes. His expression is bare now. No armor, no distance, no detachment. I didn't help you because of your name. I didn't protect you because of your past. I didn't watch you fight because of duty. His voice softens. I did all of that because I wanted to. The rooftop suddenly feels too small, too bright, too intimate. And what? I manage. You decided this after I bled all over your arena? His lips twitch. I decided it long before that. Something warm flares low in my stomach. I shove it down immediately. I don't trust alphas, I say. Especially ones who keep secrets. I know. His tone is so gentle it almost undoes me. And I'm not asking you to trust me all at once. His gaze doesn't waver. I'm asking you to trust your own choices. The wind brushes past us, carrying the faintest hint of rain. My choices got me hunted, I mutter. No. He counters softly. Your pack did that. Not you. Silence stretches between us. Long, fragile, charged. I'm not here to cage you, he continues. Not here to drag you back to the pit. Not here to decide for you. He pauses, breath steady. I'm here because I want you to choose what you want. Even if it isn't me. My chest tightens painfully. His honesty is a weapon I'm not equipped to handle. I glance away. You're making this really difficult, you know. I know, he murmurs, but I don't know what I want. He nods slowly, accepting, though something flickers in his eyes. The wind shifts again, carrying my scent toward him, my uncertainty, my fear, my heartbeat, and something else. Something I didn't realize was there. He breathes in. His shoulders tense, just a fraction. Then he speaks, voice low, steady, and unbearably soft. If you want to bite, he says, do it with intention. I blink. What? Niko's eyes meet mine, full of quiet challenge. If you want to claim, your claim, make it honest. A laugh bursts out of me, small at first, then real, warm, breaking through the tension like sunlight. You're unbelievable, I say, and dramatic. Very dramatic. He shrugs one shoulder. You respond well to dramatic. He's not wrong. I stand slowly, stepping toward him. The rain-slick rooftop glistens beneath our feet. He doesn't move, doesn't push, doesn't pull, just waits. Close, but not touching. I'm not sure how to do this, I admit. You already are, he answers. A long pause, a breath, a heartbeat. And then, very carefully, I lean in. Not a bite, not a claim. Just a touch of my forehead to the side of his throat, where the pulse beats warm beneath the skin. A wolf's gesture, a small one, but real. His breath catches, soft, almost inaudible. He lifts one hand, slow enough to give me time to pull away, and rests it lightly on the back of my neck. Not possessive, not controlling, just there, warm, grounding, honest. It lasts only a few seconds before I step back. Heart pounding so hard I'm surprised the whole rooftop isn't shaking. Niko doesn't chase the space I put between us. He just looks at me, eyes filled with something I don't dare name. So, I say quietly, what now? Now? He answers, you decide. I take a slow breath, and another. The city glows below us, alive and restless. Somewhere my past is still hunting. But here, right now, under the moonlight, I'm not running. I'm staying, I say finally. Niko's eyes soften in a way I've never seen before. Not because I have to, I add. He nods. And not because I owe you. I know. I swallow hard. I'm staying because I choose it. The faintest smile touches his lips. Small, warm, dangerous in a different way. Good, he murmurs. And when he steps closer this time, I don't step back.